It is Crypto Armageddon. Prices of many cryptocurrencies have dropped over 50% in the last 10 days. The financial dreams of many a 22-year-old boy have been shattered. Peter Schiff is laughing himself to sleep every single night. There is panic in the streets. But not for everybody. You know, this may sound crazy, but some of us actually do take a very long-term approach, and some of us actually take profit along the way where we're supposed to. And these drops in the market can actually be quite exciting. Find out how. So shoot, how's this for timing? I told you guys last month that this video was coming out this month. I just didn't expect the timing to be so perfect. For those of you who might be watching this video, weeks, months, even years into the future. So what's going on right now? As of the 23rd of May, 2021, we have just got done. Well, I hope we got done. It could still keep going, but there has been a major correction in the cryptocurrencies market of over 50% in many of the top cryptocurrencies out there, and everybody is losing their minds as if they've never seen this before, as if there's never going to be another one in the future. I think there is, and these are not bad things long term, but depending on how you've played it up until now, it can be a horrible thing. So let's focus in on doing things right this time. So when another correction happens in the future, which it is bound to, we actually are positioned to be in a really good place to capitalize on it instead of, dropping our heads and wondering where all our money went. I think that's a much better route to take, don't you? Good. Well, let's proceed. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. Financial advisors don't even mess with crypto. We're going to talk about that. But in this video, what we are going to discuss throughout is I'm going to give a little kind of State of the Union address on where I think crypto is at right now and some of the challenges we face going forward, but why we should still be overall pretty positive. Again, I have chosen to play this market a certain way, and it has worked, and I want to share that with you. So hopefully, you can keep emotions out of the equation going forward, because if you can, there is a lot of really great stuff to look forward to, in my opinion. The psychology of crypto investors is a big thing, though. If I was making this video back when Bitcoin was kind of raging up to that $60,000 per coin mark, I don't think anybody would be listening to me right now. But I think right now I have a lot of people's attention. So I don't want to say too much now. I think we'll just wait till we get there. But I do have one rule that I want every single one of you to follow. It's not going to be a rule you're going to want to follow, but I think you may see the importance of it now. So let's go over it. Let's make hay while the sun shines, I guess. While everybody is still kind of really wishing they took profit somewhere along the way before this crash happened, let's go over exactly how to do that, because there are different ways to take profit. I don't even really care how you do it. As long as you have some kind of plan in place and you actually execute on it, you're going to do better than 95% of crypto traders and investors out there who, as well as I do, have absolutely no plan to put in place. And they're the ones hurting right now. The people who actually did what they didn't want to do at the time when they were supposed to do it are actually sitting pretty nice right now and actually looking forward to the opportunities the future might bring. And that is the level I would like to get you to, provided you're not already there. And then towards the very end, a quick programming note on the No Nonsense Forex channel. It is a positive programming note, but I didn't know where else to mention this, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be towards the very end. So, moving on. Something bad did happen in the market. We did have a big correction, and while I think corrections are generally positive long term, we really did lose some ground in terms of the future of crypto, in my opinion. What it did tell us is right when we thought this market was getting stronger, and make no mistake, it is a lot stronger than it was back in 2017 when the first crash happened. Back then, people had no idea what they were putting their money down on. A small handful of people did, but most people had no clue at all. This time, they did. This time, there's a real use case for a lot of the cryptocurrencies and a lot of the blockchain companies that are out there right now. But make no mistake, right when we thought this market was getting stronger and The money that was inside of the market was super strong. We got exposed right away. Any market that can fall 50% in 10 days due to manipulation is not a strong market. And manipulation happened. And if there was regulation in place, which I think there should be, which completely goes against the spirit of DeFi, I understand that. But, if you want to live in this world with no rules, this is what you're going to have to deal with. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, you probably didn't know this, but I put out a blog 2 or 3 days ago, right about, talking about how meme coins like Doge and Shiba Inu have no place in the future of crypto. So if that does not sound provocative enough for you to go read, do it for this reason. In that blog, I put in a video from Altcoin Daily that I don't know if you guys saw it, but it had that thread in 4chan where that guy called this exact move. He said exactly how it was going to go down, and he called it down to the number. It's pretty much a group of whales that decided to short, and short long enough to where they triggered all the people who were over-leveraged and provided a huge drop after that. It was that easy to do. As far as we have come in this market, manipulation that can crash the market 50% in a very short amount of time is still relatively easy to do. And we now have to deal with the very uncomfortable truth that this market is not as far ahead as we once thought it was. And when it comes to the actual future, when it comes to that end game, that mass adoption that everybody talks about, I think this crash and the way it happened set us back at least 2 to 3 years in that journey. And make no mistake, we need mass adoption. Because if you believe in any of those Moonboy predictions that we're going to get to 300,000 Bitcoin or 1 million Bitcoin or 10,000 ETH, we need the cryptocurrency market to have mass appeal, not just with the retail crowd, because I think we've exhausted much of that. I mean, how many more retail people are we really going to get in? How many retail investors out there don't know about Bitcoin? Don't know about cryptocurrencies? I think most of them do already. It's just that most of them are risk averse and they don't want in. They don't understand it enough, nor do they want to. So I think we've not completely maxed out the retail market. I just don't think there's a whole lot further to go there. What we really need and the money we really depend on to get us to places like this are from institutions, big ones. And not these little renegade ones like Grayscale and MicroStrategy and things like that. It's great to have them here, make no mistake. We're going to need legacy finance. We're going to need the blue bloods in this. We're going to need those big institutions that hold pensions and billionaires' money and everything like that to come over to cryptocurrencies in more than just a small way if we are ever going to get to these levels, in my opinion. Now, that's a really tough sell. Think of your big-time financial advisors out there. I've already crapped on these guys before. Shout out to the ones that are actually looking out for their clients' best interest. But for the most part, all these people have to do is not lose their clients' money. It's not about upside. It's all about downside risk and the lack thereof. So you're going to try to convince them to come over and hold cryptocurrencies with all of this volatility? Right after we showed them that it can lose 50% in 10 days, super, super hard sell. I don't know how we're going to get there, but I hope we do someday because there is a lot of good that came out of this, in my opinion. And there's still reason to have a lot of positivity going forward and hoping one day we can get some of these bigger institutions on our side. For starters, every time you have a correction like this, you get rid of all the people you don't want. You get rid of all the bitch hands. You get rid of all the people who leveraged into a market like cryptocurrencies that was already volatile. I mean, how dumb do you have to be? And you also got rid of people who just kind of like heard about it and got excited because it was moving up so much and decided they would jump in. People who know nothing about investing. You're always going to have these people in this market. But the less of them you can have over time, the better off you're going to be and the stronger your market's going to be. So you need these corrections, and you need corrections in general. You know what doesn't have corrections anymore? The equities market. And that's why they're in so much trouble. That's why central banks have to inject trillions of dollars into the economy just to prevent it from falling apart. Because when you don't have corrections and you suspend them for a long enough time, everything just becomes this huge house of cards. And so not only am I glad we had the one we did, but I am excited for the ones in the future. I hope they happen. And yes, I do plan on taking advantage of this one. Because let me ask you a question. Of all the major cryptocurrencies out there, the fundamentals, think of it, of like Bitcoin and Ethereum and Chainlink and Cardano, have the fundamentals of those cryptos changed at all in the last 10 days? I don't think they have. I think they're exactly the same. So given that, they all just became very much on sale. And this is where you have to take advantage. This is where you use your charts, if you're able to pick that right time to get back in to something maybe you missed out on before or something you want to add on to. And hey, if you end up being wrong, you're wrong. But I'd rather be wrong on Bitcoin at 35K than I would at 60K. So take advantage of these opportunities. So to finish up my rant here, here's what I think needs to happen going forward. And so watch out for things like this. First off, we do need more corrections in the future. I just talked about it. Corrections are healthy. Just don't be caught off guard by them. A lot of people were caught off guard by this one, and it's silly. One, it's supposed to happen. Two, it needs to happen. Embrace these when they do happen and use them as opportunities. I do think we need more regulation. I know that goes against the spirit of DeFi. I wrote about this in my blog, which I will link down below. If we're ever going to get taken seriously, if we're ever going to be able to prevent a small group of whales coming in and dropping the market by 50%, we're going to need more rules down the road. So not only would I champion this cause, I really hope we start to see these down the road. People are going to complain because it goes against this whole decentralized finance, goes against this whole renegade libertarian movement that started cryptocurrencies in the first place. But you just can't get there without it. I don't like it either, but it is what it is. Also, and I wrote about this in the blog too, all of these meme coins that don't do anything, but still go up a lot anyway, those have to go too. Remember, we are trying to impress these big institutions and try to get them over to our side. This is not how you do it. It's just not. Perception is reality. Again, it is what it is. If we're going to grow and we're going to move forward as a market, and this is going to be legitimately how things are done in the future, there's certain elements that just are fine now because they give us exposure, but there's just no place for them in the future. There's not. But a major economic downturn, I think, is going to be the one catalyst we need to get legacy finance to finally get away from being primarily in things like equities and bonds. They're great when they work. There's going to come a day where they won't anymore. And these institutions are going to need somewhere to turn. They're definitely going to go towards gold and silver, which is why I'm a big proponent of both of those things. But they might at some point need to diversify into cryptocurrencies as well. And if we can show them that this market has grown and this market has matured and we've gotten rid of all the dumb shit and we've actually put rules in place that make sense, maybe at that point we can get them in and finally ascend to that next level. And I just don't see this happening any other way. I think there's only so much more retail money to get in. I think we can get back to the levels we were at in a fairly short amount of time, but the question is, how do we get beyond that? And that's where I think we really need those institutions, and we need to make this a serious, mature market before they even think of coming over. And something major is going to have to happen before they do. So this is just the way I see it. Let's go ahead and move into the overall theme of this video, and that is the money management side of cryptocurrency investing. Real quick, the psychology end of it has to be addressed, though, because I said it before. I'm so glad this video is coming out now, because if it came out 3 weeks ago, nobody would want to watch it. Or if they might watch it, but they wouldn't pay attention to it. When times are good, nobody wants to take profit. When price is raging, people are like, why take profit now and cannibalize my gains for later? No, I want to be all in while this thing's moving up. Well, as traders know, and many of you on this channel are traders, that's exactly when you're supposed to take profit, when price is moving up. It's exactly when you don't want to, but if you're going to have any success in the trading game, this is exactly what you must do, and the investment game is no different. And now the psychology on the other end of things is completely different. When things have dropped, like they have now, even if people have still made some profit, nobody wants to take profit. It's the strangest thing, even though the complete opposite is what you need to do. And we know this from trading. It's exactly the same. So psychology is one of the toughest things to get past. So for all of my no-nonsense Forex traders out there, how did we find a way to get past all of those psychological hurdles in our way? We came up with a plan for money management, and we stuck to it. Simple as that. If you can create a plan and stick to it, you can get rid of all of those psychological hurdles that take you down. And as we know from trading, same as investing, they will absolutely take you down. If we get to those crazy lofty levels I talked about in the previous slide, there is still going to be probably 80-85% of crypto investors that still find a way to not make any money. Why? Because when you don't have a plan in place, what is left to guide you at that point? Your emotions. Now you're trading on emotion. RIP. Worst thing you can do. So either take the time to put a plan in place and follow it, or suffer the consequences. Because when this whole thing is over, this could be one of the largest financial opportunities of our lifetime. And most people are still going to find a way to screw it up. Do not let that be you. Now, before we get into this, let me address one particular idea. And I think this is going to affect a number of you. But to me, there's three types of people out there in the cryptocurrency space. All right, you got the traders, people who are trading this market in and out every day. The very first crypto video I put out was for you. It gave you a very simple money management strategy you could put in place, and it almost didn't matter what you did beyond that. The way you entered really didn't matter. Just follow that money management strategy, and you're going to be in good shape. And so far, and I say this every time I bring this up, congratulations. You guys have been loving almost the whole run up and the way down. Traders get the best of all of it. Now, the other group that I think does get the best of it, but in a different way, are the long-term buy and hold crowd. You guys are probably tired of me preaching the long game, but the reason I do it is because it's almost always the best answer. It's certainly the best answer here, and nobody wants to do it. Even the people who say, yes, VP, I am on board with the long game. I am a long game player. Usually when the tide comes out, you're swimming naked. You're not really in this for the long term because these short-term and mid-term moves affect you way too much. This puts you in the majority of what I call the mushy middle. These are people who are really into their favorite crypto YouTubers and Twitter handles, and usually their movements are dictated by the people they follow. And they really don't have a plan in place. So they buy at these random times and they sell sometimes, almost never, when they think the market's gone too high, when it hits a resistance line. They don't really know. They don't have a direction. Traders are very regimented. Long-term traders are very disciplined by what they don't do. It's these people that have all the problems. I've been here before. I have corrected this. I either exist here to where I trade Forex every single day, or I'm pretty much here with everything else. Actually, you know what? I am in the mushy middle when it comes to what I have to use ETFs for, certain commodities and oil and things like that. Not because I want to, but because I kind of have to. But I have a really disciplined plan in place, and I still do okay with that. But for the most part, I don't want to be here. I don't want anybody else to be here, and I'm afraid most of you are here. So let's start by getting you either here or preferably here. I just don't understand why more people don't want to be here. It's the best place to be. Like, nothing really affects you, and you get all of the great benefits of a market, especially if you really believe this market is going to be the future. Just be right, sit tight, buy on dips and corrections when they come. It doesn't have to be much harder than that. But you still do need some kind of plan in place. And here's the number one thing I want all of you to take away. The main objective to any kind of buy and hold investing like this, especially something like this, because nobody wants to do it, is to make sure you get your initial investment back. If you put $1,000 down on Ethereum, you have to make sure at some point you take that $1,000 off the table. Now, there's somebody I follow on Twitter, and I cannot think of who it is. Everybody I follow on Twitter is an absolute monster. They're all amazing. But there's one thing they said that I completely disagreed with. Anyway, the phrase was, never trim asymmetry. So if you don't know what asymmetry is, we've talked about this before. It's, I see the cryptocurrencies market as very, very asymmetrical. Anytime where you can put your money down, and the worst thing that can happen is it goes to zero, but there's a pretty decent probability that you could 3x to 5x it or even more, that's an asymmetrical bet, and you should take those almost every time. But this does not mean that all of a sudden money management just doesn't exist. People, especially younger, inexperienced traders, will say, what are you doing? Why are you taking money off the table? You're cutting into your gains that you could be getting in the future. As if these are going to be the only investments you ever make your entire life. It's silly. Always take your initial investment off the table at some point, because the reason so many people avoid cryptocurrencies is because of the volatility, is because of the risk. By taking back your initial investment, at that point, you have eliminated all of the risk. You've eliminated all the downside. Traders, we win by not losing. Now you can't lose. Now it's only a matter of how much you're going to win. Are you going to win as much as you would had you not taken that money off the table? Well, yeah, of course. But again, it's not about that. If cryptocurrencies do what we all want them to do, you're going to make plenty of money. But being able to mitigate your downside and play it smart is a skill you will have the rest of your life. And there will be plenty of asymmetrical opportunities for you in the future. This isn't it. All right? Stop being greedy. Greed will get you wrecked in this game. Always take your initial investment off the table. Now, when do you do this? It's going to be different than the way you would do this in a stock, because this market is much more volatile and the upside is much greater. Okay, I'm not going to pretend like that upside's not there. It totally is. So you can do it as soon as your investment 3x's. You can do it at the 1 year mark. For Americans especially, that's a good idea because you're going to pay a lot less in taxes. Whatever method you decide how you're going to do it now before you enter your next trade or your investment. This isn't something you just figure out as you go. All right, now you're letting emotions come into the fray. You need to decide this ahead of time, and you do this ahead of time to prevent emotions from ever entering the conversation. This is non-negotiable. This is something every buy and hold investor must do no matter what it is. It just seems like for cryptocurrencies, this gets forgotten on purpose by just about everybody. All right, I'm not coming up with anything revolutionary here. All right, this is pretty straightforward. This is just something I will bet almost nobody out there does. But there is no better way to be that guy chilling in the hammock while Rome is burning than to do this one thing right here. I've done this on most of my positions. Most of my positions have gone past the 1 year mark, and there's a few that haven't, but most of them have, and I took my initial money off the table, and it's been great. All my risk is gone. Now I don't really even care what it does. I hope it goes up. I'll be happy if it does. But if it keeps going down, then I'm just going to sit and wait. I'm in this for the long game anyway. What do I have to worry about? Now, from there, I strongly believe you should also have a point in time where you actually bank some actual profit. You entered something asymmetrical. It worked out really well. You need to reward yourself for it before the game is over. Where you do this, I don't know and I don't care. Just have a level. As long as you are consistent with it, and as long as, again, you have determined all of this before you enter the trade in the first place, then you're going to be just fine. But I think you really need to take a nice profit off the table as well. Now, that doesn't mean take the whole thing off. We're going to talk about what to do with that last bit. I don't even care how much it is. Just make sure you take some profit. This is the case in everything we do trading-wise. We want to make sure, whether it's big or small, that we take our profits when they're there. And this is no different. Now, you might be saying, well, I don't want to take money out of the cryptocurrency market and put it into fiat. I don't like fiat. I like crypto much better. Well, a lot of people feel that way, but guess what? You can put those profits wherever you want. They don't have to go into cash. They can go into equities. They can go into real estate. They can go into metals. They can go right back into another cryptocurrency. You might be saying, oh, gee whiz, VP, how do you come up with all these opportunities to re-enter the market? I sure wish I could do that. Well, it's because I take profit. And so I always have dry powder available no matter what. I'm seeing people on Twitter right now saying, oh, it must be real nice to be able to re-enter the market at lower prices. And I'm thinking, how do you not have this opportunity to do what I'm doing right now? I'm like, oh, that's right, because you don't have any money management. You don't take any profit off the table at any time. You took this whole hodl thing way too seriously. There's different levels to everything. You can still be a long-term buy and hold hodler and still do intelligent things along the way. Both things can be true. Both things should be true. Now, when I said take profit, again, I didn't say take it all off. You might want to leave a little bit out there. I do this. I always have a little bit of a flyer on my buy and hold investments, because with these asymmetrical investments, you never really know how high it's going to go. We have history to go by, but everything's different every time around. So I highly recommend that you leave a little bit out there to chance. Because crypto could be the real deal. The blockchain could be the way we do internet, or whatever it's even going to be called in 5-10 years, for the next 5, 10, 20 years. And how high would the price of something like Ethereum or Cardano or Chainlink go if that was the case? So you're going to want to be part of that. You're not going to want to take everything off the table. This could end up being far more valuable than anything else out there. So allow yourself to take part. By doing this, you always get to be a participant in the market. You still get to participate in all of that possible upside. It just won't be as much as you would normally have had you not taken any profit off in the past. But I'm going to tell you this. Even though cryptocurrencies and the investment of the cryptocurrencies market could be a once-in-a-generational opportunity, doing things the right way and taking profit off where you're supposed to is going to last you forever. You probably have more than one generation left in you. I don't know how old you guys are. Most of you are in the 25 to 40 range right about, which means this isn't your one and only chance. All right, learn how to do things right now. Learn how to do things correctly in a crazy, we've never seen this before environment just like this. And no matter how many more times it comes around, you are going to know exactly what to do. And you're going to be able to do it like an experienced professional and just keep making money over and over and over. You're not going to have to be one of these, little kid investors that are relying on this one-shot lottery ticket. They have to rely on that. You don't. You're far better at this. Now, exactly how, like physically, what do we have to do to put all this together? Well, first you have to ask yourself the question we just answered. Are you a little kid investor, or are you a grown-up that understands that taking profit along the way is absolutely necessary? You're the grown-up? Okay, good. Here's what you do next. You put together a notebook or a spreadsheet. You guys know I love my Google Sheets. You really just make 3 or 4 columns, and you write your levels on it before you even enter the investment. Now, you can do this with existing investments too, and at this point, you probably should. Now that the market is corrected, the dust has settled a little bit, the euphoria is no longer there, and you're thinking a lot more clear-headed than you were before, now start putting those levels in place. But I want you to make this a habit that you employ before every single buy and hold investment you make. All right? Determine this before you enter so emotions do not get the chance to enter the fray. Now, in terms of stop loss with asymmetrical investments, sometimes people don't have a stop loss. Sometimes it can go all the way down to zero. As long as you're not using leverage and things can go past zero, which apart from Forex, you shouldn't be using leverage anywhere. That part is up to you. But everything we just talked about before is non-negotiable. You're going to want that initial take profit to get your money back and put that level down, wherever it is, whether it's a period of time or a particular price. Then you're going to want to do the same for that actual profit to reward yourself for a job well done, and then to determine how much you're going to leave left over for that flyer, just to see if this is the future of money. You're definitely going to want to take part. Do not change these levels at any point in time. If that first take profit level arrives in 2 days because price just went nuts, you are not going to want to take profit. You're going to want to let this thing ride as far as it can, but you don't get to do that. Once you actually set these things in place, just like trading Forex, money management is worthless if you don't actually enforce it. That's where the psychology comes in. You got to make the rules, and then you actually have to follow them. Again, traders, nothing I just got done telling you today is revolutionary at all. It's almost just me stating the obvious, but almost nobody in the cryptocurrency space does this at all. And they will forever be ruled by emotions, good and bad. And with a market as volatile as this, that's just not a ride I want to be on. I want to be able to focus on my other investments and my businesses and my family and everything else, just my life. I don't want to be part of this machine and allow it to consume me like it's consumed so many different people. It doesn't have to be that way. We can just all hang out at the finish line. It's a better place to be anyway. Now, one final note as we wrap up the video. So I mentioned this on Twitter, and if you're not on Twitter, I'll leave a link down below. You can follow me. You're going to want to follow me because people don't always get notifications like they should these days. And I had said on Twitter that I am getting back into the podcasting game for anybody who's interested. Now, it's not going to be a Forex trading podcast. I'd said before, I've pretty much told you all there is to know on Forex. It's going to be something else, but you are not going to be aware of it unless A, you follow me on Twitter, or B, you subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you're just somebody who kind of lurks and things pop up, you might catch it, but it's going to be weird. You're not going to know what you're looking at. So for those of you who follow this channel but don't subscribe, please subscribe and please hit the notification bell. Also, if you think you have subscribed, double check, because ever since this video came out right here, I pissed off the wrong people, apparently, and now a lot of people who were subscribed no longer are. Yeah, this platform plays pretty dirty sometimes. So just make sure you are fully notified, whether that is via Twitter or YouTube, and you won't miss out, because again, it's not going to look like my videos or my old podcast did. So there's a chance you might just overlook it. So don't allow that to happen, but expect that to happen before a brand new no-nonsense Forex video comes out. I can't guarantee it, but I think you're going to see the new podcast pop up on this channel first. So be ready for that, and let's wrap this video up. In conclusion, decide what kind of cryptocurrency investor you want to be. Do you want to be this rogue, always lost in space, swaying with the emotions, blowing with the wind type trader that really hates corrections like this? Or do you want to be that chilled out, long-term trader who loves corrections like this? We love it when it goes up. We love it when it goes down. It's the best of everything. But there are winners and losers in this game. At the end of the day, no matter how high this thing goes, most people are still going to lose. It's weird. You're going to look back and say, how did this possibly happen? Well, it's because people don't take profit. So the winners are always going to be the ones who are diligent and have plans. Everybody tries to compare cryptocurrencies to Tulip Mania. Well, there's a handful of people that made a ton of money in Tulip Mania. Nobody ever talks about those people because there's only like 4 or 5 people. But those 4 or 5 people, at a time where nobody had any idea what investing was or what to do, those 4 or 5 people still had the sense to take profit along the way. And that's why they made a lot of money. And regardless of what route you take, traders, I want the same for you. All right? I just want your odds of making it in this market and every buy and hold market to become that much greater than it would be otherwise. We play the odds here at No Nonsense Forex, and I always want those odds to be in your favor. And if you want to make sure they're always in your favor, you know what to do. You subscribe and you hit that bell. We are far from done. I think this new podcast is going to extend the life of this channel even further than I had planned. So that's going to be really exciting, and I still have plenty of No Nonsense Forex videos to come and round off the year. Listen, I do not want market downturns to ever ruin your day. I want you to become somebody who's excited and opportunistic and optimistic when these market downturns come. It can be that way if you want it to be, but you still have to put that plan in place and go get it.